We are live. Let's get this Instagram. Trying to hit this Instagram live. Come on. All right. We are live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. We are live on Facebook. And we are live on Rumble. We are all the way live on this March 25th of 2025. Boy, March is marching and marching on. Thank God. This has been the most diabolical month, I swear. But you know, the first quarter is about to end of the year, and I am ready to move into the second quarter to see what it has for me on April 1st. So this is the last live for the quarter, but we are definitely going to keep it going every Tuesday. With new content. We're probably going to switch it up just a little bit. So welcome anybody who is joining the show today, because we got two major topics. One is choosing to live in your car. Is this a good idea? Is it a bad idea? We have we have a normal example, and we have a celebrity example of someone deciding to live in their car. And then the question that we all talk about all the time is modern women, and are they dateable? Not women, modern women. There is a distinction. And so we will get into that later in the show. So you definitely want to stick around for that. And if you have joined us, go ahead and hit that like and say hello in the comments, so I know that you are here. I see a couple people have joined already. Appreciate you for coming in. All right, so first topic. You have heard of Jaden Daniels from the Washington Commanders. I have to remember Commanders. And Jaden Daniels is the rookie quarterback of the Washington Commanders, who led them to the NFC Championship game. So he has a lot on his shoulders. And we have heard of Juju Watkins, who is in the NCAA playoffs as a women's basketball college player, and she's a pretty darn good one.
She's good to look at too.
Yeah, well, you know, so I wanted to just go ahead and show y'all who we are talking about so we can put it all in context. Let's share my screen. Let's give them a taste of who it is. This is Juju.
Game one earlier today here at USC. Juju Watkins had 22 points. At USC took out UNC Greensboro by 46, 71-25. UNC Greensboro held to 13% shooting by USC's defense. They really
look at that smile.
That helped turn that game around. So USC will take on the winner of this game on Monday. And as this Regional 4 in Spokane continues to play out, the winner here from USC Monday night will take on the winner of tomorrow's game between K-State and Kentucky next weekend.
I think if you love post play, you'll be tuned in tomorrow night's K-State Kentucky game.
Yes, she is.
If you love Juju, as most of the people in this facility do,
and look who we got there:
Jaden Daniels, selfies and autographs,
and his mama.
Jaden Daniels isn't going anywhere. They're hanging around for Cal and Mississippi.
So let's go back just a little bit.
People in this facility do.
There is Jaden Daniels' mama. There
right here. She's...
And there is Jaden, sitting as one big happy family. However, there has been reports that Juju Watkins and his mama, they ain't seeing eye to eye, and his mama is not with the shits. So let's check it out. It seems like people on the internet are taking things a little bit too far. Jaden Daniels was sitting with USC superstar Juju Watkins after a very easy first round tournament in Greensboro, and it sparked a lot of rumors and buzz. But I'm here to tell you, we don't know how much of it is true. So there they are, keying. Look like mama mind her own business, And so now we're like, what does Jaden's mom got to do with it? Thing about it is, Jaden's mom, as we know, has been very, very protective of Jaden because she don't want him to go down like the rest of these athletes that get scooped up 21, 22, and then basically mess up their lives before they get 30. So there was talk that she was dating DJ Wagner. So she might be out for the streets. We don't know. And like I said, the mama is not playing around. The next from Yahoo Sports, she is being criticized for separating Juju and this woman. Like I said, mama ain't playing around.
Oh, man.
Virginia Jackson did something women have not been able to do well this year. She boxed out University of Southern California basketball player Juju Watson to separate her son. After that tournament, Jackson sat in the middle of two. Basically, people are criticizing his mom for basically keeping and saying, hey, we're not having kids, we're not getting married, we're not doing the nonsense that most young athletes do. So my question to you is Jaden Daniels' mama doing too much?
As far as me being selfish as a fan, I love it. Why?
Yeah, why?
Because you see what's happening with these athletes, right? These dudes are getting themselves involved with all these nonsense females and getting caught up in everything and getting girls pregnant. I mean, you see Xavier Worthy, what he just experienced, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So all these athletes, especially younger athletes, especially in Jaden's age bracket, a lot of them get caught up with dating these older women. Not saying this has nothing to do with Juju, but just in general, they get caught up. And Jaden, although he's a mature young man for his age and he does the right things, but he is still 22, 23, 24, whatever age he is. 22. He's still in that age bracket. So, and he's the starting quarterback in the nation's capital. So you know what kind of women is coming his way in the nation's capital. He's not getting no ducks.
It don't matter what he could play for the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying in general.
They travel, right? Because they travel, so it don't matter. Yeah. And they have Instagram and TikTok, so it is a worldwide thing.
Yeah.
And to your point with Xavier Worthy, for those of you who don't know who Xavier Worthy is, we talked about him a couple videos ago. So check back. He was accused of domestic violence by his ex-girlfriend, but come to find out they were false allegations because she was caught cheating and he put her out. So she filed false claims. And this smart young man, I don't have the article right in front of me, but what he decided to do is to sue her for defamation and for other things. So he's basically pressing criminal and punitive charges against her, which actually should happen more when people file false claims. So shout out to Xavier Worthy.
What's funny is, remember the last show, we kind of predicted that he might not, but the fact that he is shows what kind of guy he is. And, he really cares. His career is very important. He's the fastest man in the league, and, with that situation. But going back to Jaden Daniels, yeah, bro, it's I'm happy about it. I support it. I don't think it's as bad as what it seems on video, but she is protective, and I understand why she's protective. She understands the game.
Well, she's said that she's not allowing it. She said that in the beginning, even before the season, people were criticizing like, oh, he's being mama's boy, mama protecting him. I'm like, look, somebody needs to protect him because otherwise he's going to end up just like Zion Williamson and Anthony Edwards and all these and Jaylen Brown and all, he's going to end up like a lot of these basketball players that got baby mamas that are 40 and they 21 and looking like a goofy.
Dude, I can't stand those dudes. I can't stand Jaden. I get triggered when I hear Zion Williamson. I get triggered when I hear Jalen Green and all those simpy young boys. I can't stand them. Ugh.
So we got a return user from last live show asking, why are there no punishments for false claims? Bro, you already know the answer to that, because it's if men filed false claims, then there would be punishment. But because in general men do not, then there aren't any. So there we go. That's the short answer for that.
Oh, trust me.
Same reasons we don't have male birth control. How about that? So yeah, I shout out to Jaden Daniels' mom. She is being mama bear and protecting of her son and protecting of the bag, her bag, his bag, and his future. So shout out.
I love it.
Shout out. I wonder if my mama would do that. She probably. I don't think my mom would, but I think I would appreciate it. She did, especially as I got older. He might not appreciate it now, but I think when he get older, when he retires and still has some money in his account because he don't have baby mamas and divorces, he'll appreciate her then.
I would say one more point before this. I believe if this keeps up, and by the time Jaden is 32 years old, he's going to be great. He's going to have a long career. He's probably going to have hopefully a couple Super Bowls, a lot of Pro Bowls. So,
yeah, even if you don't, I mean, my thing is, play your career out, but don't let outside distractions take your bag and your joy. So whatever it is, if he gets all these endorsements and contracts, he did that by himself, and he deserves to have all of it and not have courts take away 40 to 60% away from
it. Triggered. Go ahead.
That's that for that segment. I just wanted to kind of start the show off with that because I just found that that news clipping earlier this morning. I said, oh, this would be perfect to kind of contextualizing our show. But the next segment is living in your car worth it? Because if you've noticed on TikTok and on Instagram and sometimes on YouTube, there's been this trend of people deciding they tired of paying rent, they can't pay rent, they gotta get out of debt. So they've basically either given up their apartment. Most of the people that are on these platforms don't say they had to. They're saying it's by choice. I don't know whether it is or not. I'm not even getting into that. But they have decided that they rather live in their car than pay bills and be in debt. So there is an Instagrammer that I follow. His Instagram name is No Casa. Casa in English, in English is no home, no house. So let's see what this brother is talking about. Let me see if I can make this a little larger. Of course I can. Let's hold on a second. There we go. All right. Let's see what No Casa is talking about.
Day one of me living out of my car. Well, not really. This is day one of me documenting it. I've been living out of my car for just about 8 months now. Last year, I had a couple of startup businesses that failed, and it accumulated to nearly $20,000 worth of credit card bills and IOUs. Analyzing the situation, I realized with an average interest of 27.84%, I'd be stuck in debt for at least a decade just by paying the minimums. And I'm not letting that happen. So I got a car, and now I'm living in it. And day by day, I'm hustling to pay this debt off. And we've made progress. Right now, I'm at $13,357 left to pay off. And honestly, I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. My new goal is to have this all paid off within 100 days, utilizing social media to increase my income. Some say it's impossible, and I say, yeah, until I do it. Follow for more Out the Mud content.
So this is No Casa. Let's show his give some credit to the creator, No Casa 99. Follow him. He is on Instagram and TikTok. And let's check out a couple more posts.
We are in big trouble, y'all, because I might not pay my debt in time. The original plan was to get paid from all social media apps, but things have gone bad. First off, Instagram does not pay anymore. Dang. Snapchat won't pay me yet. Dang. And my Facebook only has 40 followers. What's up with Facebook? Plan B is to start a merch line, but the logo designer I paid is not hitting. I shouldn't have sent this guy my money. I told him I wanted a logo of the number 100 formed in a cool way, and based off his profile, I thought he was gonna cook. That was until he sent me the first 3 designs. This man went 0 for 3. I asked him if he could create more and he agreed, but he's only gonna do 3 redesigns. Dang, hopefully one hits. He sends me the first redesign. That's a miss. Then he sends me the second one. Another miss. At this point, I'm thinking this is just not my guy. But then he sent me this last redesign and a smile came to my face. This gonna work. I'm no Casa and we're getting out the mud.
So No Casa is a young guy that's decided that he is going to get out of debt and is going to live in his car until he gets out of debt. What do you think about that?
Well, it really depends on the person. I mean, he wants it bad, right? He really wants to pay his debt, but it really depends on how bad you want it.
Okay.
I personally wouldn't do that because I like the comfort of my spot. I like my bed. I like you know what I mean? I wouldn't say I live like that, but I've been in a period of my life where I was bouncing from motel to hotel, sort of. But you're still in the confines of a tu casa, right?
Su casa. Right.
But as far as his living in the car, I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't do that. What's your take on that?
I mean, for me, sometimes I ain't gonna lie, when times be getting rough and you be looking at all these damn bills and you be looking at your income, especially when you are, between jobs, between contracts, or think you have unexpected expenses and you just get frustrated that you have all this stuff going on. You be like, man, at this point, I'd rather save this X amount of stacks and live in my car for a few months just so I can, because especially when you have a 9-to-5, you are in a you're on a treadmill because you don't make enough money to really get out of debt, but then you make just enough money to pay what you can pay and might have a little bit extra. And you get, for me anyway, because I've been in the workforce for a while, you just get tired. Like, man, all this life you go, you live to pay bills. And so you're like, all right, let me cut some bills, and especially as an adult, you ain't nobody paying, unless you are kind of a pookie or a princess, ain't nobody paying no bills for you. If you're a pookie or princess, it's different. Either you're gonna get 3 squares a day or you're gonna be able to be a homosexual and move on in with somebody. And then if you're decent chicks, some dude to move you in, Mm-hmm. So speaking of some dude move you in, I don't know if you remember, I'm a little older than you, so I remember I'm old. I'm too young for the Supremes, but Destiny's Child is not the best female group of all time, in my opinion. The best female group of all time is En Vogue. And I tell you, when I was young, I was obsessed with En Vogue.
The songs.
I was, damn the songs. For me, it was the look. I used to love all 4 of them. And if you all remember, let's see if I can pull this up. This is hilarious, actually. The fact that, let's see if I can move this over some. The fact, I'm trying to show you guys the En Vogue album cover. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't play it, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
So this is back when Giving Them Something You Can Feel. That's the dresses they wore in that video. I strongly remember that. And I was obsessed with her, and I was obsessed with the 2 on the end. But this lady, was my second favorite member of En Vogue. She wasn't my favorite. She was my second. And she's been in the news lately, you know, for a while. You know, this is all four of them together, you know, after the prime of their career. And as you see, they're still, you know, they're still very good looking. Again, these are my two favorites. Usually this is most people's favorite, but these two are my favorite. And Dawn Robinson has been in the news lately, but I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna let her talk about it, why she's been in the news, and this will jump right into our current topic.
It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of courage because you show up.
Go back a little bit.
Okay, hello in every language. Oh my gosh, life was lifing and I had to deal with it like we all do. I'm glad to be back. I'm still on cloud 9017 from episode 5 because I did that on my own and I'm still just knocked out about it. Wow. Anyway, and I'd like to start this episode with a quote from Brene Brown. It's, I think, Brene Brown. Brene said, being vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of courage because you show up not knowing the outcome. You show up not knowing the reaction people are going to have and what they're going to feel about it or how you're going to be judged. And so
all right, I'll get on with it.
Topic time, like, what if because you're a celebrity and what if they judge you? And I'm like, okay, what if they judge me? So what? We're all judged. Life is life. And it was like nobody has stepped or walked 5 steps in my stilettos. So it's real and it's okay. It's like part of being human is to be vulnerable. I'm human first. I don't care about celebrity. I don't care about being a woman. I don't care about any of the things that we think, oh my God, you shouldn't with me and that you didn't see her again. Yeah, you and I've always been honest too. That's the other thing. I'm like, I hope that's what you guys love about me. So anyway, my aim is to inspire. Know that anything you're capable of. Every years I have been living in my car. Almost 3 years. You guys, for the past almost 3 years, I have been living in my car. I said it. Oh my God, it's out. I've been living in my car. Oh my gosh. If you remember, if you guys were with me, in 2020, I did like 105,000 interviews. And in the interim, I was living with my parents in Vegas. And that was wonderful until it wasn't. I love my mom, but she became very angry. And a lot of her anger, she was taking out on me, and I was her target all the time. And I was like, I can't deal with this. Like, I respect her too much. I didn't understand it. I still don't. And it hurt me. So I was just trying to figure it out, but I couldn't. You can't read someone else's mind. You can't figure them out. They got to figure themselves out. So I was like, let me get out of here. And I was sleeping in my car for maybe about a month in Vegas. And then the guy that was co-managing me at the time was living in LA. And he said, you need to come back to LA because it's getting ready to be fire in Vegas. You need to come back. I love LA. So I said, okay. And he said that I could stay with him. And so I was like, okay. But you have a dog, I have a dog. Do we have? And he's like, I don't have a lot of room, but I'll make room for you. And then when I got to his place, he actually didn't have room for me. So it turned into, okay, well, I'm going to put you in a hotel for the night. And that one night turned into 8 months. Oh my God, you guys. I was like, no, this is unacceptable because all
right, I'm going to pause it, but the story goes on and on as to why a Grammy Award winning artist and performer is now, if she's not 50, I think she's over 50 actually. Why a woman that has, basically dominated the 90s.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, she left En Vogue. She couldn't get along with them. She left Lucy Pearl. Remember Dance Tonight?
Yep.
Remember? So that's 2 groups.
Yep.
She left her husband. Now she's saying her mama angry. So we got 4 instances of people.
Who's the problem?
And there only seems to be one common denominator.
Yep.
But none of this is her fault. We all know that, right? Because that's the way modern society is. It's never her fault, right? Or am I just tripping? All right, so I'm going to show you this next one. Now, this is her ex-husband.
Fit for Hilton Brands. Andre spoke about Dawn's reunion with En Vogue before things ended, but he also spoke on how leaving the music industry helped save his life. Andre says he has loaned many of his friends and colleagues money, and he has seen some pass in poverty. However, he doesn't want that for Dawn. Andre believes that Dawn's charisma and great personality based from the music industry will make real money in this hospitality industry, driving in sales. Dawn will still be able to keep in contact with industry friends, record music, and tour. Based on her position, Andre will offer free medical and PTO to continue her career. Andre claims he's offered this before, but now he's adamant that Dawn takes this offer. Our team is currently working on a deep dive about Dawn's life and career. Be sure to subscribe to RRG on YouTube and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the video.
So in other words, she's refusing because it's coming from her ex-husband. She doesn't want help because he went on a whole long rant about, they're not together and, she's a great person. But again, as we see right here, the common denominator is herself and zero accountability. So that was a lot to digest. What do you, how do you parallel No Casa versus Don Robinson's both choosing to live in their car, so they say?
Well, you have one person that actually has a game plan, right? He has a specific game plan on how he wants to eliminate debt, right?
Yep.
Then you have another person who has dealt with a lot of accountability issues because it's always somebody else's fault, right? And due to the actions of her lack of accountability resulted to, hey, I got to live in my car. So two different, same thing, but two different reasons.
Yeah.
And, because I'm looking at the story and I'm listening, I'm like, wait, your songs are fire to this day. Are you not getting no royalties? I mean, what is going on here? I mean,
well, the thing is, you got to remember in the music industry, they, En Vogue was singers. They were not songwriters. They were not producers.
That's true.
So, and they had to split their what's called points out of 100, which I believe artists typically only get like 10 or 20 points, basically 10-20% out of their song, and I had to split that by 4, right? So artists typically make real money, performers, not those ones that write and produce. They typically make their money on the road. That's why these artists still are on the road in their 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s.
That makes sense. I don't look. I'm ignorant to the music industry and how the business works, so it makes sense why you still see Keith Sweat on the road. I'm like,
well, because you got to remember, Teddy Riley makes more money than Keith Sweat on Keith Sweat's records, because Keith Sweat's records that are hits are the ones Teddy Riley wrote and produced. Why do you think Babyface has so much money? Why do you think Diddy has so much money? Why do you think R. Kelly has so much money? Not because they're performers, because they're writers and producers.
Just like our buddy.
Why do you think Prince and Michael Jackson has so much money? Why do you think Whitney didn't have nearly the amount of money neither one of them had? Why? Because she didn't write or produce any of her songs. Why do you think Beyonce has so much money? Because she writes and produces a lot of her own songs, so it's different. Why do you think Missy has so much money? Because she's wrote a ton of music, wrote and produced a ton of music. So you got to remember, and that's why a lot of rappers make more money than R&B singers is because at least they write their own lyrics. So they at least have two of those parts. If they are not producers, they at least write and perform. But when you're a singer or just an artist, you only make one of those. And I'm not even including the money from the record company and the promoters and all that stuff. I'm just saying the points on the royalties.
Okay.
And so that was one of Angie Stone's issues.
Oh, I was going to get into that. And why?
Yeah, that's going to be another topic for another day. But that's one of Angie Stone's issues, why she had to work on the road in her 60s, because she got Universal screwed her out of her royalties that she should have been getting. Because she don't own her own masters, they kind of controlled it, and paperwork was filed wrong and all kinds of stuff. So she had to work as an older performer that has been in the industry for 30 years to pay bills. So that's what it is. That's one of the many things we can do a whole live on the music industry. I know enough to be dangerous. I am no expert by a long shot. I have worked a little bit in the music industry a little bit, and I got the hell out of there.
Really?
Oh yeah. I got out of there quick. I mean, not as an artist, but in my field in the music industry, but still, as even in marketing in the music industry, I was around studios, around artists.
You did talk about
I tell you, it is a whole. I just felt the bad spirits. So I don't want no part of it.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that all.
Like I said, that's another topic, another live for another day.
Yeah.
So that's that. Shout out to Dawn Robinson. Like I said, my second favorite En Vogue member. I just hated when she left because they never sound like 4-part harmonies never sound right when they're 3-part. Ask Boyz II Men, ask En Vogue. They do not sound, when you start at 4 and go to 3, you don't sound right.
Nope.
And the reason Destiny's Child works because nobody really cared about nobody but Beyonce anyway.
Yeah.
But in general, any 4-part harmony does not sound good in 3-part harmonies. So that's that. That was a lot. And the crown jewel topic of the night are modern women dateable. And I got a couple clips that I want to share. And I want you to, you and the audience, please comment. Let me know what you guys think of. I'll let them talk themselves. I'm not going to do the talking. I'm not going to share my opinion until we are done because I don't want it to be biased. Where did it go? So I always find this funny when women describe themselves and tell, they love to tell us how, much of a, how much of a big deal they are and why, we should date them and everything else. So we're going to let this woman tell us why she's a great catch.
Your standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single Black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages. In the last 6 months alone, I created 4 different applications and 2 different programs across the iOS platform. Not to mention, I started diversifying my financial portfolio at 23. You wear skinny jeans. We're not grading this on a curve. Maybe you're stupid.
Sounds like a great catch to me. She's financially responsible. She programs iOS apps. She squats 250. Sound like my cousin. Sound like my homeboy. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I was looking for a man,
I was just about to say that.
She'd be a great catch.
Yeah.
She'd be such a great catch. I could see. I don't understand how she's single. I can't understand it. She has all those assets. Why would nobody want her? Well, somebody wants her, but the guy she wants. Why, somebody wants, of course, somebody wants her.
Dude,
please share your thoughts.
The thing is, man, modern women, a lot of y'all really don't understand what men want. Do y'all really think that we value how much you squat? I could care less how much you squat. I care less how much, whatever accomplishments you made. I don't care. I want, are you peaceful? Are you cooperative? Are you a loving person? You touchy-feely? I mean, those are the simple things I like. Are you, great character, and are you nurturing? That's what I look for. I can care. I don't care about your bench press, your squat, or whatever, or you being an Emmy Award winner, or I don't know.
Not Emmys, not the Emmys.
Yeah, it's like I don't care. I don't and it's funny. I'm looking at the comments, and the dude said N-word, don't give a F about none of all that. And yeah, guys don't care about that.
I was just about to get to the comments.
Hey,
some of them get the most useless degrees. Insufferable is more like it. Most men care more about a woman's character than her accomplishments. This is so real, which is why I'm trying to put more energy into myself. Yes, I got a house and a nice car, a nice care.
Oh,
but I could do better with my weight and self-care. I need to do better. Swan Lake.
We don't care about that, sweetie. Who cares about your degree? I'm gonna say I don't care about your degree. I don't care about.
We don't care about all them degrees. Most of us see a bunch of debt, but the ones using them and getting paid for a salute.
Literally, man, I don't care about your degree. I don't care about you being the head of a department. That don't do nothing to me at all.
Let me read a couple more comments. Okay. All those things they brag about are things that adults need in life. Money, stable job, cars, etc. are responsibilities. Oh my goodness. These comments are, yes, achieving a personal goal does not automatically make you a better person or a mate. It's your character that really counts. I love an educated and goal-oriented woman, but that does not automatically mean you are a good woman or a person. Shout out to Southern Carrie with the comment. But again, we got tons of comments, mostly saying the exact same thing. Like, nobody cares. I mean, good for you. Congratulations. You are the homie.
It's funny. And this is why, when it comes to other model women, they're like, hey, I got a friend that really likes you.
I'm not interested.
And she would like to get to know you. Okay, what's special about her? Oh, she got her own place. She got her own job. She got her own. What does that got to do with things I look for?
Well, the thing is, like always, what I have learned in most recent times, in the last few years, is it's not that. I'll just say this. They don't care what men want. They could care less. They're not interested. They don't want to find out. They don't ask questions. They don't care. And when they do find out, they ignore it anyway.
Yeah, they get
because
triggered.
you need to accept me as I am. And if he can't accept me for who I am, then you wind up the way you wind up. Okay, next video.
Lord, I got something to say.
Video floating around of this girl talking about how y'all are intimidating men with y'all degrees. Y'all know how y'all love that coping mechanism. But let's really tell the truth about it. Let's tell the truth. Y'all are not intimidating most men. What's happening is a lot of y'all, when you get these degrees, you get it so that you can feel bossed up, so that you can feel like you that girl. A lot of y'all couldn't compete in looks with other women, but you can in things that you can obtain. Degrees, houses, cars, material items. And so once you get those things, it makes you feel like you're a better caliber of woman, right? And a lot of people can tell this about you just by being around you. It don't even have to be limited to men. I done been around women who once they get them degrees and get the money, their attitude becomes very nasty. And they think that it's all about them because they got those degrees and because they have money. Then they start looking down on people, talking crazy to people, and they just develop this really nasty attitude. And men find that to be off-putting. Most people find it to be off-putting, right? But you think it's intimidation when it's really you're just nasty. You think that you're better than people because of what you've obtained. Materialistic most of the time, right? You think you better because you got a luxury car, because you live in a nice house, a penthouse, because you got a bunch of designer. And you got the mindset of how men maneuver when they get money. You think that money is attractive to men. You think that the power that you have is attractive to men, but most men don't see it that way, right? So when you be out here, you trying to figure out, well, why these men don't want me? I got so much to offer. I got this. Yeah, that would be great if you were a man, right? And that would be attractive to women, but you're not. You're a woman. And so a lot of y'all, you so focused on obtaining all of this materialistic stuff that a lot of y'all end up being homely looking. You forget about the fact that you need to upkeep your looks. And so men are not physically attracted to you, but you somehow in your mind think that because you got so much to offer material wise, that they're going to overlook it the way you would overlook it when dating a man who got a lot to offer material wise. But again, and that's not how it works when you're dating men. No man has ever looked at a girl and was like, yo, she busted, but look at that Louis bag she carrying. She dropped a Benz though. Look at that mansion she live in, right? Unless he wants to use you, those things that you have material wise,
Yeah.
why he don't physically like it. Then when it comes to the actual intelligence part, a lot of y'all are sitting with bachelors, masters, doctorates, but you're getting played by men who barely got GEDs. Barely do the sentence out loud. What good is those degrees? What good is all that school? You being if you're failing at life. So there's a video floating around of this girl talking about how y'all are intimidating men with y'all degrees.
Oh man, shout out to Just Dana, y'all.
I'm gonna follow her.
Give this woman a follow.
Oh
Just
Lord.
Dana. We got I just hit the follow button. I'm Just Dana 1987. Shout out to this sister because she dropped. Basically, she took every last talking point I have. I ain't really got nothing to say. She just said it all for me. Thank you, Dana.
That was hilarious. That was
man,
funny.
she said, y'all got all these degrees, and you getting fooled by a dude that could barely formulate a sentence. They got, oh man, you cannot make this up. Now, again, I didn't say none of this. I didn't say it. She said it.
Lord, that was hilarious. It was just the way she said it. She was like, dude who barely got a GED, who can't even formulate a sentence.
Good enough diploma. Yeah.
Man.
I mean, but was any point that she said, my thing was, I think I just said it earlier in this live, you're describing a man.
Mm-hmm.
A man that has things or that is looking, for a mate that complements him. We're not looking for competition. We're looking for peace. We go to compete at work. We don't want to compete when we come home. So that is not anything that we're looking for. So if you have a degree, you don't. Fine. My thing is, are you an adult and can you take care of yourself? That is important. Now, you having, living in a penthouse suite, driving, a Corvette or a Benz, and your red bottoms and your Birkin and Hermes bags, that brings no value. Being able to take care of yourself and others, that is of value.
Yeah, this is that was hilarious, man. That was so funny. I really laughed so hard, almost teared up because this is the stuff that this is the stuff we talk about often.
I mean, yeah. All right, let's check out this next. Oops, wrong one. Come on. Talk about this next video because these people are out of freaking. Some of these people are out of control.
I know you want to live.
Okay, stop. Why are you asking me to take shapes? We don't want to do that. We just want to show the video.
I know you want to live in the past so bad. But let me tell you, this is the 21st century, and calling me independent is not an insult. It's actually a compliment.
All right, we're going to stop sharing that because I don't know what just happened there. Let's try a different video because I don't know what that was. All right, maybe we can share this one without it acting crazy.
just so toxic out there. You just have that negative energy with you everywhere you go. It doesn't matter how much someone cares for you. It doesn't matter how much someone does for you. You just can never seem to appreciate anything that's done for you. You just can never seem to appreciate anything that's good in your life. So how are you going to tell me you've got a good man in your life, someone who loves you, someone who provides for you, someone who cherishes you, right? Someone who knows how to treat you right, someone who puts you on a pedestal. You decide to break up with him because he's not toxic enough for you? Because he doesn't wear pants that drag? So he doesn't have enough tattoos for you? Oh, so he doesn't choke you enough? So now your complaint is he's not toxic enough for you? Your complaint is this man is too boring for you? So you're breaking up with him because he loves you too much, because he cares too much. Because when you go out, he checks on you. He calls, he texts to make sure you're okay. So now you call him controlling? So when he tells you, don't be out there in the club, twerking, left and right, getting drinks from men, getting run through, you call that controlling?
Yep.
That's how you think. You as a modern woman, that's how you think you're smart? That's what you call independence? No wonder some of you end up living with your cats. No wonder some of you go through depression and anxiety and all these mental illnesses. No wonder some of you bring so much trauma into other people's lives. So somehow,
where is she from?
You've managed to let social media, these influences, toxify your brain into thinking that getting run through is a form of femininity. Is you being feminine? Is you being modern? So now you break up with a great man, you break up with a provider, you break up with someone who loves you because you're looking at social media. Guess what? By the time you wake up from this delusional world that you live in, like you usually say in your world, your clock is going to run out. Your clock is going to run out. This is Fefe, guys, from Fefe's Inside 20.
Yo. Shout out to the Danya effect.
That's right.
Trying to pull up her video. Let's see.
Danya effect. Let me follow her.
Yeah, so that is Danya effect on TikTok. So y'all can see. Again, I always try to give credit to our
fellow content creators.
Absolutely. So what do you thought on that one?
I mean, it's a real thing. Modern women are their pride is all in the wrong places, and toxicity is something that they love. They're gonna say, "Oh, he's toxic," but they're part of the problem too, you know. And they love that.
I know
stuff.
you want.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say somebody that I know very well, that I look at every day, was a certain type of guy, and they used to always come back.
Oh yeah, they're gonna come back.
They enjoy that stuff. It gets them going, and based off the guy that I talk to every day, I understand that. They love it. They love the function. They love confusion. They like a guy with a little edge, and it's sad. And when you're well put together, you're stable minded, and you hold them accountable. You have rules and regulations, and
you're boring.
You're boring. Yep.
You're boring. You're controlling. You are too demanding. You're too safe. You're not exciting. I'm not attracted. What are all those buzzwords? So actually, this next clip might just put it all in perspective for us.
Let's go.
I want to live in the past so bad. But let me tell you, this is the 21st century, and calling me independent is not an insult. It's actually a compliment because that means I am free from control. And I know you want to bring back the day where women were oppressed and suppressed, and we couldn't vote, and we couldn't do this, and we couldn't do that. But that time is over. And now you hate to see a woman shine. You hate to see a woman having her own bank account, driving her own car, let alone having her own money. So allow me to show you how powerful a woman is, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and also physically. Let the games begin.
I know. I'm thinking to myself, this girl got to be trolling, because you cannot make this ish up. But again, we give credit to content creators over here. That was from Tara Chantel. I won't be giving her a follow because I can only take so much nonsense per day. But again, I will always give credit where credit is due. Shout out to her for providing us with the content. But what do you think about it? So I guess modern women think we want to go back to slavery and keep a barefoot and pregnant, right? I think that's what she's saying. We're scared now that she has a bank account and that she can squat 250. That's pretty much what the other woman said.
It's like, yo,
I'm so intimidated. I mean, I'm scared. Aren't you scared?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna run. She's a strong woman. I'm gonna bow down to her.
250. Oh man, that really. She can put. Well, oh my goodness, she can put 4 plates on the bar and add some more things. Ooh man, I'm scared.
Hey, Derek, we go to Victory and we're like, yo, Derek, man, she look like she got 4 degrees. Her bank account must be real.
Look, I be looking at them thighs. I be like, man, I bet she can squat about 175. When I go out, I be looking, man. I be like, man, I bet you. I'm like, look at that car she got. You know what I'm saying? She can get out there. She's a go-getter. We can be together. And I mean, instead of me living, my little luxury condo, we can get a doggone penthouse together. And my degrees plus her degrees, that means we gonna have smart kids and oh man, man, we are the modern power couple. We are the next Mariah Michelle. Man, that's what I'm out here looking for. I don't know about you. I think that is a recipe for success. In forget the past, forget when when women were oppressed and they didn't divorce their husbands. And women took care of the home and the children, and men went out and worked. Those are such old times. Those are just, it's just the worst of times.
They were oppressed, bro.
Oh my God, these poor women. Lord have mercy on their souls. My mama and grandmama lived terrible lives.
Oh my gosh.
Unhappy. Man, they had to stay home and wash sheets and cook food while her husband went out into the workforce and the steel mills and all the other stuff. Oh my Lord. My mama I'm so glad that I didn't grow up in the years my mama and grandma grew up because they were so oppressed.
Woo! And we got 4 degrees in total. I got badges and matches.
I got 3. Woo! She got 2. Oh shoot. We can start a whole book. We can start a little collection.
Power couple, baby.
Man. All right. Last video of let's show my man's comment. maybe I'm misguided, but I feel like the Pop the Balloon show shows why the modern state of black love doesn't work. The Pop the Balloon show, we might do that on another live, but I'm just I'll be honest, I'm so disgusted. I can't even watch. I can't even get through any portion of that show for longer than like 15 seconds. So I can't even educate myself on the show enough to present it to you guys because I detest that show or any other content creators that actually react to the show. I can't even watch them. So, I mean, I can believe it. I haven't watched it enough. It's just like, to me, it's just like modern reality TV. The average woman turning down black men that work at NASA is insane. I mean, I don't have to watch Pop the Balloon to know that. I mean, I see it in everyday life. And at this point, I think a lot of men at this point don't really give a damn. Just like, you know what? Get your cat bags, because we know when we look at the modern the delusion calculator, we can calculate, you know, your chances of actually finding someone. We'll have to bring up the good old delusion calculator on one of these shows. But last clip, actually, let's see if I can find it really quick before we get into it, because I would love all right, let's bring up the good old delusion calculator. All right. The female delusion calculator. I think this is the right one. I know this is one. This is where, what are the chances to find the man of my dreams? Using live search surveys conducted using U.S. Census Bureau and the National Council of something. I forgot what that is exactly. So let's go. They want somebody 25 to 40. We'll just say black first because we black. Mm-hmm. You got to be 6 feet ain't even tall enough no more.
Hey, you buddy. Hey, I'm done with you. The fact that that's a thing is true. It's really a thing.
It's just like 100,000 ain't enough. I mean,
yeah. Hey,
100,000 ain't enough, and 6 feet ain't enough. Like, shit ain't enough.
Dude,
let's just keep it 100.
And to speak on the height thing, I remember this one woman on Threads told me, she said, if he was 6'2", because I remember I made a little post on there. She's like, if he was 6'2", maybe.
And she's sitting on telephone books driving a car. But anyway, we're going to exclude obese because he has to have a 6-pack. Minimum income 80,000. Fuck no. I mean, you ain't even in the game if you ain't hitting 250.
Mm-hmm.
So let's F around and find out. Your probability of finding that man, according to statistical data. So that is not 85%. So this will be 1%. This is the 10th place. This is the 100th place. This is the 1,000th place. This is 10,000th place. I'm pretty good at math. So you got less than 1,000% chance of finding this man, of being a black man. All right. But you believe, look how many cat bags you get. You get 5 out of 5 cat bags.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You are a modern woman. You believe that, you know what? I'm going to get me a white man because, you know, the white man, they want to get married. You know, they serious. But he still got to be 6'2", and he still got to make 250 because black men are broke. Let's F around and find out. All right. You have increased your chances. Well, actually, you've decreased your chances. Because reason that this is statistically relevant is because there are more white men there are more poor people than rich people, right? So when you add more people to the poor mix, then that's going to bring down the numbers. So actually, you have less of a chance of finding a white man with those same stats. You're like, okay, you still delusional as hell. Very. So let's get any man. But he still got to be 6'2". But, you know, she might say, you know what? I'm coming to my senses. I can do 160. Let's find out.
Oh man.
Still got to be 6'2". Oh, we at 0.2. We have increased our chances. So now that you have a fifth of a 1% chance of getting some. So now we're getting somewhere. So that is what a fifth 20. So out of about 2,000 men, you might find a couple. Yeah, there you go. Out of 1,000 men, you might find 2. Now we're on the roll. So now you're only 4 out of 5 cat bags. But you know what? Someone's like, I'll date older.
I want an older man. I want what they call silver fox.
But he gotta be 6 feet. Still gotta be 6 feet now. And he still gotta make that money. Because I got my degrees, and if I make 90,000, he can't make less than, he gotta make twice as much as me, because we gotta live on his money and I get to pocket my money and travel and buy bags. So now, we got some specs. Oh shoot, we almost at 1%. We have more than triple our chances right there by upping the age and lowering your standards. All right, we gonna share, man, because that's what you're gonna have to do.
Oh, you sure will.
Still ain't too good. Still delusional. Okay, fine. He at least got to make 120.
But then that's still a problem.
So now you get a third of a percentage. So you moving on up, and you still gonna share him. So I could do this all night because I enjoy numbers and statistics, and this is something I already knew. But again, these numbers are not something I made up. This is not something that the person made up. This comes from the United States Census Bureau, the Department of Labor, and whatever the NCHS stands for. I can't think of what that is. I think the Department of Health and Sciences or something like that, where it reports income, height, weight. Basically, it's a summation of all medical records. So these are legitimate stats. This is not an opinion. This is not what you and your girlfriend see when you go out. This is not how you feel that everybody is this.
Why y'all looking for that?
So that is the typical delusion, and why you wind up either sharing or alone. And since I just spoke that up, our final video of the night comes from my boy, Mr. Darwynn. I cannot think of his last name. I want to say McFadden, but I want to say his name correctly. But what I will do is just pull the video up because I can't find his name right now.
Okay.
And he is coming out of my favorite city in the United States. Hey. Oh. Share this tab instead.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
We spoke a little bit the other day. We had a little conversation. Yeah.
Let's go. Got a lot to get through.
So many women, once bold and independent in their 20s, are now full of regret and tears in their 30s and 40s. Why does independence taste bitter when you're eating it alone at an empty dinner table? Well, today, I'm giving you 7 raw, unfiltered reasons why so many women are aging alone and they're bitter about it. No pandering, no caping, just the truth they don't want to hear, but desperately need to. Reason number 1. Rejection of femininity. Too many women strip themselves of gentleness and humility for aggression and ego. They were told femininity was weakness, so they became masculine carbon copies of men. But now that the years have passed, they're realizing the truth. Men don't marry competitors, they marry complementers. Modern culture sold women a lot. Be strong, be independent, and he'll still love you. But the reality, most men don't want a second man in the house. They want to help me, not a rival. Reason number 2.
Woo!
Wonder who said that?
Man.
Wonder who said that?
Now keep in mind, I have not watched this whole video. I just watched bits and pieces. But yeah, I mean, that's always been my thing. I do not need another me. So yeah. All right. There is number 1. Thoughts on number 1 before I move on to number 2? I will take that as a no.
Independence became a religion. Society told women, you don't need a man. And now life is proving them right, but painfully so. They did everything solo, made their own money, paid their own bills, climbed the ladder, and now they're also crying alone, eating alone, and sleeping alone. Independence is not a replacement for intimacy. And now they're realizing I can do bad all by myself. It's not a goal. It's a curse. Reason number 3.
Well, they're not sleeping alone because we can see with the statistics that there are a whole lot of baby havings on one side of the coin. I'm not going to pull that statistic up right this moment, but we know the statistic of the unwed mothers versus the unwed fathers. But we'll just keep it there. We'll save that for another show. 3rd,
men are tired of being used, then blamed. Many good men got burned early. They gave love, provision, leadership, and got disrespected in return. Now those same men have wised up. They're not chasing anymore. They're not playing Captain Save-A-Ho. They're prioritizing peace over pretty. Women who once said, I don't need you, are now crying, where have all the good men gone? And the answer? We're still here. We just don't want you anymore. Y'all are so unfit for relationships. Y'all won't even tell your sons to date women with your resumes. And that is a damn shame. Reason number 4.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going down this hill, but I would rather have a 6 that is cooperative, fit, friendly, and feminine than an 8 or 9 modern woman any day of the week. And I don't have to think about it.
Easily. That's not even a what?
Give me an adjustable 6. Hell, give me a flexible 5 before I take one of them. Flexible 5. Let's not get ridiculous. Now we ain't going. Let's not get crazy over here.
We ain't gonna get to the linebackers.
We're not going below. We ain't subbing 5. We really ain't trying to hit the 5. But the 5, I would rather take a straight in the middle than an 8 with all the modern baggage. And again, we are talking modern. We're not talking all. We're not talking a race or a specific. We are talking modern idealism and modern behavior that we have outlined. Just to be clear.
A woman's desire to date up in status, income, and influence leaves her with fewer viable options the older she gets. Let's be real. Men at the top has access to the best. And if a woman's attitude is nasty, if her peace is absent, if her femininity is gone, why in the hell would he pick her? Men have options too, and they're choosing younger, softer, sweeter women who bring peace, not power struggles. And the icing on the cake? More and more men each year are becoming high earners in their 30s and enjoying the single life, traveling the world, and they're not looking back. Reason number 5.
Yeah, you're going to age out if you keep running over these good men. That's just what's going to happen.
Delusional dating standards. Too many women held on to fantasy over reality, waiting for a 6'4" millionaire, emotionally intelligent, faithful, ripped, gentle but aggressive, romantic but tough unicorn man, while bringing nothing but attitude, student loan debt, and entitlement to the table. As time passed, their value dried up, but their standards didn't. Now they're sitting in bitterness, refusing to compromise, not realizing they're no longer in their prime. They're in denial. The crazy thing is, you could have kept the men who held his value longer than you. You just didn't know how to keep him happy. You failed to stay in your lane while he led. And most of y'all let yourselves go while thinking the grass was greener on the other side. And when you found out it wasn't, you started looking at younger women who looked like they were winning. You saw their bodies, the hips and the thighs, and you thought to yourself, I got enough money. I'll just go to Dr. Miami and lay down under the blade. And when he started chopping you up, the Pookie started knocking you up. And that's when you realize that even if you gift wrap shit, it doesn't take away the stink. So now you're crying with your BBL and your donut lips. And guess what? Just because somebody pulling up after 9 to pipe you, don't mean they're there to wife you. So at this point, you can do like the rest of these bitter women. Take your ass and your tears to the churches. They'll make sure you hear what you want to hear so you can continue or your delusion. Reason number 6.
Woo, that number 5 was hard.
Ooh.
That was hard.
Ooh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you run out at some point, and you just ignored.
Well, they go to church and pray. They're gonna pray to God and hope that a man just comes from the ceiling, and God just grabs her and just says, "This is
Naming it, claim it, and blab it and grab it." Yeah, I mean, she went to Dr. Miami. That is funny with your donut lips. that is hilarious.
And these same women go to church on Sundays.
Oh yeah, well, they trying to, and like you said, the delusion, because I just did a whole demonstration on the delusion calculator, but like the old people say, some people don't believe that fat meat is greasy, and that just shows you, even though we know all the information is out here that is not is highly unlikely, people still decide that they want to go after it anyway. Number 6 out of 7.
Entitlement without self-work. Many women believe they were the prize without doing any other work to become it. They think a man should chase them just because they exist. But here's the truth. Beauty fades, but character remains. Men are realizing that a beautiful face can hide an ugly spirit. And now women who spent decades inflating their egos are left wondering why no one is simping for them anymore. Women with beauty, femininity, and cooperation are the only women in the world that are prize-worthy. And women with beauty, attitude, and pushback are great for back shots and making sure the neighbors know our name. The self-work women do these days is for independence, and I'm not talking about financially. Their self-work makes them spiritually independent because they edged God out. Sexually independent because no man wants to lay up under no bitter-ass coochie. Reason number 7.
Ooh. Thought on that one?
I mean, he's right. Absolutely right. I mean, I'm going to be cautious with my words, but...
Well, you can pretty much say anything but the F word.
Right. Yeah, they're only good for getting their back blown out. That's it. I mean, that's really it. And I experienced this and literally was like, there's no way I'm dealing with this. And they're going crazy, mad why I don't want to partake in their BS is because the lack of femininity. I would say false femininity because you just
Fox.
Fox.
F-A-U-X.
Exactly. Fox.
Like
because
Fox
one, you only acting a certain way because you like me, but who you truly are, you're very modernish. So there's no way I will go back to you.
Exposed. Last point.
Late life regret can't undo early life rebellion. You can't reject good men for 20 years, then ask for a high value man at 40. Many women are trying to come back to the table after years of mistreating men, mocking marriage, glorifying promiscuity, and chasing independence. But by the time they came back, the table is clear, the chairs are stacked, and the men have left the room. You don't get to reject order and expect acceptance. You chose rebellion. You chose empowerment, and it didn't work out the way you wanted it. Men do not care how much makeup you try to use to cover it up. We dealt with y'all heathens long enough to develop X-ray abilities to see through your Maybelline and Botox. So what you can do is show up for the discounts when the dogs and cats go on sale. And I might be there to help you in customer service. Okay, here's my final.
That's funny. Yeah, so that was a hell of a list. I can't say that I disagree too much on it. But yeah. So got a comment up here. He says that he feels like red pill guys repeat. So first of all, he's not a red pill guy because he is married and he's more objective. But to my man's point, he said, I feel like red pill guys always repeat these talking points. Women don't really listen until they hit about 40. So what are the solutions? The solutions are nothing's really going to change, and the generations are going to have to die out and start over, and it's going to have to be like the Great Flood and start over again because we are going way too far. Life always, I don't believe I will live to see things change for the better, but there will at some point be a reset. And but we're too far gone as a society.
Too far gone. Oh, yeah.
We way too far gone. I don't believe that in this lifetime that most of us are as adults right this minute will see the change, just like a lot of our grandparents are not witnessing this nonsense right now. But next question, he says, do you guys have dating foreign women? Yeah. I mean, in country and out of country, I will say definitely different. Some things women are women, but at the same time, non-American born women sometimes have that is very important. Non-American born are brought up with different values, so they are usually less tainted with modernism, but over time sometimes they can get infected as well with modern society. So he says that nothing's going to change. That's a black pill effect. No, it's not black pill at all. A black pill is basically an incel and the person that has given up. I haven't given up, but I am aware of what the reality is. And the reality is this did not, I've lived long enough to know that this has not happened overnight. This has been an accumulation of 40 years. And realistically, I won't be in a dating market for another 40 years to see it go back the other way, if it ever does. So it's not about black pill or being negative. It's about living long enough and seeing that big changes don't happen overnight.
Yeah, it's a big, I mean, even me interacting with modern women and having conversations with them, they're so deep in, they're not willing to listen, they're not willing to comply. I mean, you have to, as a man, really, number one, be the best version of yourself and then move accordingly and be the best version of yourself so you can attract that foreign, discreet women that we all desire. So that's really.
Yeah, and modern men don't make it any better because they enable this
behavior. Don't get me started with that.
Right. They enable the behavior. So that's a whole nother, that's probably going to be our next live show, discussing why being an average man is the worst position you can put yourself in. Mm-hmm. And this being average and just being, living, floating along in life is one of the enabling behaviors of what we complain about. Mm-hmm. So that's the skinny on it. So yeah, that is our clips for tonight. Any last thoughts on, first of all, any last words on the Jaden Daniels situation of just recapping his mom not with the shits and protecting him from himself as a young man?
I would say as a fan, I love it. I love it as a fan. I'm a big Washington Commanders fan, so I love it. It keeps Jaden focused. We need to win. I need to live to see a Washington Commanders Super Bowl. So I support Mama. Jaden out there, it ain't all that. I mean, you straight. Keep folks on the playbook. Keep taking them snaps, not the other snaps. But
no snapper. Don't take no snapper. Limit your snapper.
But as far as Jaden Daniels, yeah, I'm with it. I support it. As far as everything we talked about today, as a men's self-improvement coach, guys, we have to be the best version. We have to really be that dude, and avoid modern women. Understand what a modern woman is, because a lot of dudes that I talk to, they always ask me, bro, what you think of this girl? What you think of this girl? And I'm like, bro, she's a modern woman. For real, she is? I'm like, bro, she's a modern woman. They don't want to hear.
Right. You don't have to avoid them, but just understand what comes with it. I don't have no problem with a modern woman. They're good for occasion or company or this, that, and the other. I'm just not going to commit or wife up a modern woman. So there's a difference. So there's no need to avoid them because then, to my man's point, you will be black pill, because that's just like I would be delusional, just like the delusion calculator for females saying, well, this is what I want. There's not an abundance of non-modern women. So
there isn't.
You have to understand, if you're going to deal with women, this is what comes, but you have to know how to
maneuver around
to the market. That's the key. You have to know how to adjust.
Booty clap.
Shout out to O'Shea Dude Jackson. Well, everyone, that is our show for tonight. And make sure that you tune in next Tuesday night at 7:45. I believe one of our main topic is going to be definitely on the men and why being average is just the absolute worst thing you can do. And then we also will be having some reactions from social media, from TikTok and Instagram, of things that we pick up during the week. So make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure that you follow Jay the Professor, and the links to all the videos will be in the description later on this evening. So I appreciate you all for watching. We had a great time in this show, and I will see you all in the next video.